today we all know everyone, Dr. N.K. Manjunath Sharma sir, who is the Director of Research in the Anveshna Laboratory, S. Vyasa University, and Director of International Affairs, S. Vyasa Universities, and Director of School and Naturopathic Medicine, S. Vyasa University. So with this small introduction, I welcome you on this platform. And for me and for everyone, you are the inspiration. So thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation for this platform. Thank you so much.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. It's clear, sir.
Okay, let me have some brief introduction of who are the people on the other side.
We do have from the 10 to 12 college students all over the India and having 60 to 80 participants. So,
Okay, and
and they are
these are
from
these are
second
all the
year.
students
Yes,
from different colleges and
yes,
studying in different
years from first year to final
first
year
year
of
to
engineering.
final year. Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying the corona break at home. So, I know whenever you are in a college, the one thing what you want is to be back at home. And I hope now when you are back at home, you are in a mood to come back to your college. So I don't know how many of you feel that, but certainly I know that many of you will be feeling that sooner the colleges have, uh, started. So you want to get back. So this is one sort of a feeling where the majority of the people will have. This also comes to us as something what we have never experienced, but we learn. Okay, so many things come like this in our life, and probably one such thing is you entering into BNYS college itself. So when you joined this course, you had many questions, what many medical professionals are facing today in understanding how to manage with this whole disease management. And particularly all of you coming from different backgrounds, from different states, different cities, uh, have probably come with different expectations. And today I thought of just spending some time not talking much, but to have a more of a interaction and discussion. But before that, I thought I will share some information with you, which should make you feel better because all of you have decided to get into a profession called naturopathic medicine. So, as it was mentioned, that we have people from different classes, like first year to final year. So the expectations are also different amongst all of you. So, what I thought of spending some time is uh, giving you a kind of an overview which gives you, irrespective of which class you are, and everybody will be looking at some futuristic perspective, which probably can make us feel really confident in whichever profession we are trying to move in. So if I can share my screen, I would like to just show some things. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir. You can do so. It's
Okay.
co-host.
Okay, one second. So what you are seeing, the image behind me comes from Vyasa. So this is
Screen
Swami
is not
Vivekananda.
visible.
What you are seeing is the one of the tallest statues which is there in our campus. And I'm sitting in the campus today. Uh, Those who are from Esvyasa, I know you'll be missing. Uh, there's a The weather outside is very beautiful. It's raining heavily, but at the same time, we are all here to uh, actually get back to our normalcy. So let me just share with you my slides. So I hope all of you can see the slides.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so when I was asked what should be the focus for today's discussion, then I thought what is very important for our mere survival as a professional naturopaths. So that's why I called it as the 3P's of naturopathy. So the 3P's stand here for multiple things. So basically, if you are looking at becoming a wonderful naturopath as a professional, then you need to really nurture certain things. So I'm going to start discussing those aspects which you need to nurture, whereby you naturally become uh, a great professional. So this gives you an idea about the present status, where we are, and why we need to really look at the discipline as a futuristic discipline. So I thought of giving you some statistics. Okay, so these statistics have been taken from the Bureau of Labor Statistics from United States of America. So which says that 11 of the top 20 fastest growing occupations are in health related fields. So this is something which is very promising for all of us, those who are in the health related field. And of course, we are in the field of health. And more interesting was the statistics related to naturopathic medicine. In America, the system of naturopathy is a very well established discipline. So it was said that there were little more than 24,000 potential new jobs expected in 2019 and 2020. And this is going to increase on an annual basis little more than 10%. So imagine the kind of job opportunities which is being created by one discipline, naturopathic medicine in America. So if you look at the Indian scenario, all of you know that our wellness industry is worth of 4,900 crores. So this is not a small number in India, okay? And more interesting is naturopathy contributes to little more than 60% of the services offered in this wellness industry. Today, most of the naturopaths, after completing their BNYS, somewhere they have an interest in getting into a spa, doing lots of activities related to spa, etc. That is purely because of what you saw in the last point of the credibility of wellness industry and what naturopathy contributes to this wellness industry. If you ask if 60% is from naturopathy, what is that remaining 40% coming from? So 40% come from all over the world. So there can be something coming from Chinese medicine, something coming from the Thai, something coming from various other European and Western medical system, bringing the wellness components to the wellness industry. So what we are interested is to look at how much are we contributing to this wellness industry. So if you look at this wellness industry as one of the main aspect, then there will always be few questions asked. Is naturopathy all about wellness industry? Are naturopaths probably focusing on wellness industry? So I wanted to pose few questions to all of you that which I believe is something which is not explored. So apart from wellness industry, if you really want to pick few things which can become very big industry for future, is how to produce quick results. We have a tendency of saying that naturopathy produces wonderful results when you talk about non-communicable diseases, as well as when you look at maintaining wellness. But if you look at compare naturopathy with particularly conventional medicine, allopathic medicine, what stands out is the quick results what allopaths can produce, be it pain relief, be it bringing the blood sugar levels down, be it bringing the blood pressure down, to bringing infection down, and also managing the whole scenario when you are looking at life-saving measures. Second thing is how to integrate technology into our system. This will be something which will become very big industry in future when you want to really talk about naturopathic medicine. So technology and naturopathy have somehow remained two poles, except for using technology in our missionaries, what we use for our treatments, like in hydrotherapy, etc. But unfortunately, we have not explored anything on our own as naturopathy physicians, other than a naturopathy equip manufacturer giving us some equipments with added benefits. But we have lots unexplored in this area. And how to provide guaranteed relief and how to make a condition reversible. Uh, this is where, if we can ensure that there is guaranteed relief, be it for any condition, then naturopathy will be the future. Okay. And also, uh, we as yoga and naturopathy physicians alone can promise complete reversibility of conditions like uh, all non-communicable diseases, what you're talking about, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, to various other metabolic disorders. So in all these conditions, reversibility, if you can show, then naturopathy will be the futuristic medicine. And last one, how do you actually monetize? So monetize is how do you convert a system of medicine into something which can actually make the process financially viable. Financially viable means today allopathic system is surviving because there is a possibility of uh, providing that kind of financial support to everybody who want to work in that discipline. Similarly, in naturopathy, if you really want to make it a promising discipline, financial support will become very primary. So without money, no system and no discipline or no industry can survive. And similarly, naturopathy, though, is much better than many other Indian systems of medicine, but we are nowhere close to conventional medical doctors. So this is where we need to explore the possibilities of monetizing our system, converting our system into a monetizable process. So let me share few weak links within our system. So this is what you see, which is very well worked out in conventional medicine. For example, anything comes with these five different interventions. So doctors intervene uh, when an individual comes. So either they, I mean, the basic thing what they do is they have established very well acceptable evidence-based diagnostic tools. So in naturopathy, we have also adopted and accepted the same means today. Like if somebody comes with a health problem, the first thing what our naturopaths also do is ask them to go and get some investigations done. Okay, so it's good to follow and good to be connected with the best and latest available medical diagnostics. But as a naturopath, what is that we have done? If you ask that question at diagnostic perspective, honestly speaking, the scope is too big. But the link what we have established with diagnosis is least. Though we talk a lot about IDs diagnosis, we talk a lot about facial diagnosis, we talk about, of course, certain things like encumbrance based theories, vitality, etc. None of them have been brought into action. So you can convert these weak links. Definitely, you can take them back to the previous slide to make them as your strength because nobody else can do it. Number two, the strength and the weakness. Strength of allopathy and weakness of naturopathy is life-saving process. So we somehow make ourselves uh, limit ourselves to a positioning where if it is life saving, we send them to an allopath. If it is anything else, if it is a chronic disease or acute disease, we can manage. Even if it is acute disease, imagine somebody comes with a very terrible pain in the abdomen. Honestly speaking, many doctors might prefer sending them to an allopathy setup rather than treating them. So, life saving is one area where if uh, we can master uh, through some of our own methodologies, bringing life saving methods, then probably naturopathy will be the most sought system. And the third thing is the treatment methodologies. So, allopathy system has very well worked out methodologies and guidelines and the procedures, be it surgical procedures, be it medical procedures, or rehabilitation procedures. They follow it very strongly. Unfortunately, this is yet another weak link which is still uh, shining with naturopathy, unfortunately, because this is where we could have made a difference because naturopathy has been treated as a system which believes in personalized medicine. But unfortunately, we are generalizing it. So that's another weak link, and there's a strength behind it. Then the fourth one is once the treatment is done, there is a very well worked out methodology for rehabilitating these people. How do you bring them back to normalcy? So you give them a follow-up medication, follow-up line of treatment, etc., whereby they can become normal and they can get back to their routine. But unfortunately, once again, this part is a very big weak link in naturopathy because we try to bring in very strict regimen when patients come to a hospital. Like you put them in fasting and nothing is available. What you give, they are supposed to take, and then you put them under so many treatments from morning till evening. But unfortunately, soon after they are discharged, the first thing what they look at is where is a good restaurant. Okay, so I remember when I studied in Dharmasal, which is that's where another college STM is, and close to our hospital there was a very good restaurant where they used to make masala dosas. All our patients, the first requirement after visiting the temple there, after their discharge, was to go and have a masala dosa over there. So, what happens is this: how do we ensure that we are actually making these people understand and follow these routine rather than following them as a imposed routine for them. And of course, uh, you always start with this, but you always want to continue with this monitoring process. So monitoring always stands whether you are well, whether you are sick. What do we actually bring on board for monitoring people through naturopathic system is another weak link. So this is where I said lots of other things which I was talking earlier, like bring in how do you integrate technology into it, how do you integrate various other processes. And this is, if you can do all this, certainly at every stage you can monetize, you can bring in financials into it, and it can support the whole process. uh, this is not limited to these, though allopathy has established as their strength, and we look at it as our weakness. I look at it as an opportunity. So the opportunity is for you to grow at each level, because there is so much which we need to understand. I think Namita has a question. Namita, is Namita there? Or you have put your question into?
Maybe not.
Okay. Okay, no problem. No issues. Now you are free to raise your hands. I mean, this is not a class, and I wanted it more like a discussion forum. Anyway, I have another one or two slides only. Then I want to open discussion. So, having seen the weaknesses, let us also look at the strengths. So this is what the American Association, basically that which is looking at naturopathic medicine, has proposed as something what all naturopaths should probably look at. But in our case, when naturopathy is coming from India, we have much more detailed principles than what has been given in this slide for you. So we always look at the our strengths as a philosophy, our priority and possibilities. So what is our philosophy? So this is in a way depicting our philosophy. We say that do no harm. Unfortunately, as you can see, including during COVID time, a lot of harm is being created to individuals because they don't know whether a given medicine works or not. So similarly, you just isolate them and put them in one place, and you are not bothered about their mental health. You are not bothered about their other requirements, including nutrition, and you are just drugging them. So whether it is acceptable, naturopathy says definitely not, because you have to provide your body an opportunity to heal. So you do not harm the body, you do not create any issue, subsequent issues, but you facilitate. So also, it is said that use the healing power of nature. So whatever the treatment modalities you are bringing in, you are just picking those healing powers from different components of nature. That's why you have the Pancha Mahabhutas. So you have Prithvi, Apas, Teja, Vayu, Akasha. So out of that, various different naturopathic treatments have been derived, but we don't need to limit it to that. Okay, so we are actually not utilizing all of them. We have a tendency of saying that naturopathy means we are not supposed to use herbal medicine. Herbal medicine means it belongs to Ayurveda. Herbal medicine is the proprietary of Ayurveda. I mean, Ayurveda is one of the oldest systems. I have all the respect to it. But when we have designed naturopathy as a system of medicine, and when we say this word, the healing power of nature, we have all the rights to use herbal medicine and whatever is available in the nature. So this is one futuristic thing which is going to change in years to come. But at present, this is the kind of an understanding what all naturopaths have. So, because once you understand that we can use herbal medicine as part of naturopathy, then the scope of your treatment will become very big. What you can achieve out of naturopathy will become very big. And number two, also using various things like derived from nature as supplements. Today, nutraceuticals is a very big industry. You were talking about I was talking about trends in America, trends in Canada, etc. So nutraceuticals is one of the very big component of naturopathy along with herbal medicine in America. So there is nothing wrong in bringing these components to naturopathic medicine in India, because whether we accept it or not, the whole world is following it. And we also use the other component, identify and treat the cause. So this is where we stand out compared to allopathic medicine, because we believe in really removing the cause. But the question remains, how do you identify the cause? So we neither, of course, uh, you have a tendency of following allopathic line of diagnosis, as I mentioned earlier. But when it comes to understanding the cause, we unfortunately forget looking at naturopathic principles. So this is where you can always go back to your roots as philosophy of naturopathy, which talks about unity of disease and unity of cure, and how the disease is caused and how do you treat it. So these are the three principles. Basically, if we can understand, then identifying, treating the cause will become very easy. And we always say that treat the whole person and not the symptom. This is another important differentiator between allopathic medicine and naturopathy. You always pick the problem as a multi-system, multi symptom kind of an approach. So you never treat a single symptom. Okay, like there is temperature, you use a pack. There is a pain, you use one thing. It can be one way of using naturopathy, but naturopathy is definitely designed, not designed like this. Naturopathy is designed in a way whereby you treat the whole body irrespective of the symptom, though you might try working at the symptom level. And this is what makes naturopathy as a personalized medicine. Okay, so all of you should know today everything is moving towards this. We have understanding of genetic mapping of individuals. So today, based on genetic mapping and sequencing, many treatments in allopathy are being designed to actually work on a particular activity or particular part. Or that's the way you actually establish yourself as something different compared to other systems of medicine. And we also talk about prevention as the primary goal. I had an experience. I was with a group of doctors who run a very big corporate hospital in Bangalore. So I was talking to them, we should introduce yoga and naturopathy in a hospital like yours because it can help many people. Then they asked me that, okay, I mean, how do you work? So I said that the first and primary what we look at is prevention. Somebody comes, we give a lot of inputs whereby they can prevent themselves getting into various diseases. Then they said, okay, that's interesting, but uh, how do you, if somebody is not coming to your hospital when they are well, so what is the role you have? Then I said that we have lots of awareness based activities whereby we create an awareness about good lifestyle and we can prevent lots of problems. The first thing what they said was, if we do that, we have to close our hospital, because unless we have more number of people with illness, hospitals cannot survive. And we have invested so much of money on it. And honestly speaking, prevention is not our cup of tea. So I'm not quoting the people and the hospital, but this is true. Various hospitals are working on this philosophy. Okay, so where we work on prevention is better than cure philosophy. And number two is who is the center of all this? Unfortunately, in a corporate hospital setup, it's the hospital which comes first, and the doctor comes next. So I was in this hospital, and then I became better. Versus I was treated by this doctor and I was taken care. So what happens is the role of physician. So we always say that in naturopathy, the physician will act as a teacher. So physician just guides a patient. Physician gives a direction whereby the patient can heal himself or give his body an opportunity to heal. So these are different principles which are adopted world over. These are not taken from something special in India or anything. That's why I put this slide for you. And the second thing is about our priorities. So we certainly need to prioritize. That can become one of our biggest strength. So where is that we can offer? Where is that we can stand out? Where is that we can actually become the mainstream medicine? Okay, so we are trying to compete with conventional medical doctors, allopaths. Okay, so you also treat diabetes, I will also treat diabetes. You treat hypertension, I will also treat hypertension. I'm better than you, you are better, you are less than me. So this is the competition which we are going in. Instead of that, if we can identify our priority areas and specialize ourselves, identify and work in those areas, generate a lot of evidence, and then make it a scientific process, then I think we will have a very big role to play. One such area I look at is rehabilitation. So, be it any medical rehabilitation, be it neurological rehabilitation, you might have heard various conditions. Today, a patient with stroke uh, stays on a stretcher or on a bed for little more than 40 years. This used to be around in their after 60 years or 70 years as natural process of aging and its influence on the arteries and regulation of cerebrovascular regulation. People used to have more possibilities of having a stroke. Today, at around 28, 30, 40 years, people are suff- suffering from stroke. Imagine if this person, after 1 year of treatment and rehabilitation, and if he is left alone and nothing can be done, what is that we are doing as medical doctors? I have so many people uh, contacting various centers, but not finding any solutions. See, this is where naturopathy can come very handy. Okay, be it stroke rehabilitation, be it various other conditions like Parkinson's disease, be it multiple sclerosis, or Alzheimer's, or dementia, aging-related neurodegeneration. In various conditions, people are using some or the other form of naturopathic medicine. But unfortunately, in India, we have not explored it. And I look at it as one of the greatest strengths what naturopaths can use in this, and we can bring it as a priority area. And various other conditions, including cardiac rehabilitation, patients who undergo surgeries. How do you rehabilitate them before they go to cardiac surgery, and after they come back from the surgery, there are lots we can do as naturopaths. So that's where we can make it an amazing integrative medicine, integrative rehabilitation program. Even in case of psychiatric rehabilitation, in case of various other physical rehabilitation programs, naturopathy can come very handy. Lots of hydrotherapy treatments are used world over to manage or bring in rehabilitations to these patients. Another area very interesting, if some of you are interested, you should explore right from now, though you are in first year, second year, third year, is sports medicine and rehabilitation. There's a huge scope for naturopathy to be brought in sports medicine and rehabilitation. I have worked with a couple of universities like Shanghai University of Sports in China, in Shanghai. Had the opportunity to have some collaborative projects with Ramchandra Medical College, Medical University in Chennai, where an amazing neuro rehabilitation sports medicine facility is there. And places like Germany, places like in Manchester in UK, and various parts of South Africa to America. This experience has made me feel that this is totally unexplored area for naturopaths. Sports medicine is amazing, and we all should really move in the direction of bringing our therapies for sports medicine. Uh, we are bringing out one of the state-of-the-art facility at SVIASA for integrative rehabilitation, which includes any kind of rehabilitation. And once we have that, we are also going to bring in few courses whereby those after doing their BNYs can pick up these post-graduation MD program and masters in neuro as well as sports medicine or rehabilitation programs. And the last part is uh, using the possibilities. So this is where we need to really bring all those which were less explored areas. One thing I always, in today's discussion or talk, I avoided talking about research because that's what I always talk about as a researcher. So today I wanted to talk other than research. So possibility, certainly one of them is research, but I am not going to talk about it. Today, those who have worked in some of the research institutes, they are aware of it, what dividends and what benefits it can bring in. Number one, research is the one area which can strengthen your biodata than any other field. Okay, so if you want to really have a very good biodata and the kind of background what you can bring in to your own strength, definitely research adds. But other than research, as I was mentioning about priority areas, the possibility should be really kept as hundreds. Okay, so I was looking at a possibility of bringing naturopathy to a daycare-based treatment modality. Okay, like today we have allopathy clinics everywhere. If we bring in just consultation based clinic, it's not going to work. You need to have a daycare. Daycare means treatments given on an OPD, outpatient basis. So these facilities will be the future when you talk about naturopathic medicine. So daycare-based naturopathy clinics is what, in a way, we have started a global chain called Vivekananda Health Global. We are placed at present in around 8 countries outside India and across various metros in India. And I should say it's a very successful, successful activity. So that's one possibility which many should explore because that gives you an opportunity to be independent at times. You don't want to go and work elsewhere. You want to work in on your own. You want to become an entrepreneur by yourself. So these are the opportunities. Number two possibility, as I said, is certainly using the technology part of it to be brought into naturopathic medicine. I know many of you wanted to become an engineer, either by your passion, you are pushed into naturopathy by somebody, or by chance you have got into naturopathy, etc. Never ever think that I wanted to become something, I have become something. Uh, this is what we should learn from the Westerners. You study an undergraduate, you get an undergraduate degree in America, which is our degree program here. Then you are open to take up you are open to go into any discipline. So there is no restriction for a medical professional to become an engineer later. There is no restriction for an engineering professional to become a medical to work in the medicine. Similarly, you have lots of opportunity to become an entrepreneur, to get into business development and modeling, creating lots of softwares and bringing IT. The scope and possibilities are thousands. Unfortunately, we restrict ourselves to becoming a naturopathy doctor. What I am supposed to do? Join an institution, do some consultations, and get some salary, and be satisfied treating patients. You can do it, but we need thousands of naturopathy doctors to take up all other areas. What I say. Okay, so that's where the possibilities which you need to explore. Imagine, I many people ask me a question, sir. The biggest difference between somebody becoming a software engineer and a naturopathy doctor is that more likely that if you get into a good college and in a campus selection you get selected from an engineering college, you get a salary of little more than 50,000 rupees. Okay, around 30, 40, 50 is common. But now the question is being asked that from any college you come and you are good, what salary can I get as a naturopathy doctor? There is a standard structure in India. Most of the people follow, with few exceptions, that around 25,000 rupees is a salary what a naturopath can expect. Then we all get ourselves uh, fixed to this idea that I complete my degree, I get 25,000 to start with. Like any other profession, there is no limitation, there is no such rigid rule that you have to do that and you have to get that salary. You need to really keep your eyes open, and you have to keep looking at these various options which can make you the first salary what you probably can get, maybe 2 lakh rupees, if you can really uh, work parallelly when you are doing your studies to nurture your interest. So, be it bringing technology into it, be it bringing uh, a sort of business development to it, be it bringing some specialities into naturopathy, whatever it may be, the scope is very big. So, having said that, try to remember, if you really want to make naturopathy big and you want to be a big player yourself, remember these 3 P's. So I always say that we listen a lot, and we understand less, and we act very less. Okay, so listening is always not meant for making ourselves feel good. Okay, so it's not a feel good factor which we want to share, but it is to transform our line of thinking. Okay, so for example, I have come with a naturopathy background. um, it's a solid 25 years I have spent in my research career, grown over a period of time. So I was always interested in doing something in mathematics, and I was also interested in engineering. And I was feeling that honestly, getting into naturopathy and all my dreams are not going to get fulfilled. And I was just focusing on just doing some research into yoga, doing something related to research only. and then something to do with clinical trials, etc. As the years passed, then I started realizing there are so many areas where I can actually nurture my interest to add or to bring in advantage to the system. So you don't believe, at present at least, I am working on around 7 to 8 gadgets, which can make the life of people much, much, much better when you are delivering healthcare. Okay, I'm also working on various tools involving designing few softwares for diagnosis. I'm not telling that I'm the only person doing it, or few other naturopaths can do it, but I'm telling that the scope, what is available for naturopaths, should not be limited to only clinical practice. Okay, so please bring your strengths into your practice, whereby you can convert these weaknesses into great opportunities. Okay, so this is the basic understanding what you need to look at. And I wanted to end with this thought that whatever your philosophy may be, and whatever your processes adopted for practice may be, and whatever your goals may be, and whatever means you follow to achieve those goals may be, dream big. There is absolutely no reason for everyone not to dream big. And always never look at somebody else to do things for you. Always think that I'm the one who is going to do it for others. So then the third is, certainly, never have any inferiority complex. Having chosen naturopathy as a system of medicine and profession for you, but definitely feel so proud about it, because the opportunities are so many. I know so many friends in America who have done their modern medicine, and then now they are practicing naturopathy. There are so many Ayurveda professionals, those who have gone from India. You don't get a license to practice Ayurveda in America, but most of them are taken various licenses to practice naturopathy. So you are on the right track, and you have a wonderful, bright future. And as I said, the scope, what I mentioned, is very limited, but probably what you can explore is very big. So bring out that speciality in you to achieve what no one else has achieved so far. Because it's always said, you will never, probably, you may not see the success in your first venture. Okay, or very rarely you can diagnose and treat your first patient rightly. Okay, that doesn't mean that the first patient is always a guinea pig, or somebody who is going to suffer. Your first idea is not necessarily there to be a failure. It can always be a success. Okay, so I wish all of you a great time as naturopaths in future, and at different levels, from first year to final years, you have different ways of picking these ideas. And I know those who are in final year, or those who are in internship, you have to really, you have very less time. So please come out of your shell and start manifesting. Okay, so I request any of you to share your thoughts and raise any questions, or let us move to some discussion. If you are putting your questions or ideas in the chat box, I can definitely look at them. Do we have some discussion points?
Yeah, sir, sure. Like we'll have an interactive session whenever who wants to ask question to you through chat box or unmuting by themselves one by one. That will be easy to.
Yeah, you can now keep the forum open for discussion.
Yeah, sir. It's open for everyone. So there are few questions in chat box too, sir.
Okay, I'm looking at. So there is one question being asked. So today everyone mold with allopathy, different kind of tablets, scanning technology, etc. In our world, no one compromised to everyone. Even though as a naturopath physician, I have a big doubt facing a problem regarding patient. Uh, Convenience, compromise about diet for disease conditions. If whatever I suggest to them, they ask these and all traditional things we know already. These things, I'm missing the basic question from this. Probably, if I can understand this, so how do you actually differentiate yourself with allopathy? Okay, because the expectations are different when a patient comes to you, and what they actually want you to deliver is exactly what an allopath delivers. Okay, so that's what you have mentioned, that people expect you to give them tablets, people expect them to give some other internal medication and prescribe same things as an allopath does. And even though you give them right guidance, they may not feel that they are receiving the same guidance. This is certainly there because the brainwashing has happened over a period of time. It's not just immediately. So people have their own reservations when they really want to move to any other system of medicine. But the awareness is not bad as it was earlier, like around 20 years back. Now the awareness is much better. I mean, it's so easy to communicate people to move to vegetarianism. Okay, it's so easy for them to, for you to convince them about right nutrition or even introducing fasting. It's not difficult for people to talk about various hydrotherapy treatments. So some point of time, people used to make fun of those who asked them to sit in a tub filled with a warm water. So they used to say that, do you call this as a treatment? And wrapping in a cold or a warm cloth surrounded by a woolen flannel, do you call this as a treatment? So these were the challenges faced some time back. But now that's where I said we have to be a bit vigilant. These are all the treatments used in sports medicine today. You might have seen when in a cricket match, when a fast bowler hits a batsman, first thing the physiotherapist does is he brings uh, uh, ice bag. Okay, so he puts the ice bag and then he does whatever he has to do, unless there is an injury. So, similarly, what we actually need to understand and do is bring our specialities for right use. Then, if we can create that as a specialty, naturopathy doctors will be the most sought doctors than a physiotherapist, because physiotherapist can do only limited things, but naturopath can do many more things because you also have yoga with you, you have various therapeutic interventions with you. You can do something better than what they can do. But it is true that the expectations can be different, but it's all in our hands to really deliver the way it has to be delivered. That's why I said, don't hesitate to use herbal medicine. Don't hesitate to use supplements. Okay, so we cannot keep telling that you use haldi in your diet, so you have a protective lining when you talk about lot of inflammation. Absolutely not. So what happens is you need a prescribed dosage of curcumin, which is an extract of haldi, without which you cannot demonstrate a change, or you cannot reverse a condition. You know, today curcumin tablets are the most used supplements in oncology or cancer patients. So similarly, you people should definitely keep yourself open for understanding and bringing in lots of nutraceuticals into your practice. So I'm not telling that you try to fool patients by giving some tablets like this. No, we have to adapt to the changes what happens over a period of time. If haldi cannot be eaten like this, so what is the other form I can give? So you should be very clear. And who stops you to make an industry of all those which you are prescribing as fruits and vegetables? Okay, one fine day tomorrow, you know, today Himalaya, which is a herbal drug company, they manufacture all supplements, including the bitter gourd. Okay, so you have the tablets for bitter gourd, you have the tablets for methi, you have the tablets for, of course, amla. So that's the way the whole world is moving. But we have to be knowledgeable before jumping onto them. Okay, so that's definitely a part of it. Anybody wants to ask question, I keep it open. If there is no question, then I will look at the chat box.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Reshma.
Yeah, sir, I just finished my final year exams from Alva's College of Naturopathy and Yogic Science. And my question is that do you feel that our BNY's education system has some weak links, or how we can modify our BNY's education system some more, like in a better way?
Definitely. That's the reason I have put that weak links, because the allopathy education system has taken care of completing that as a wonderful, strong force. So, you know, diagnostics is very strong force, and education in diagnostics in allopathy is very strong. Similarly, that's why they have created these specialities. Okay, MD, when it comes, MD was meant for specializing. So that's how you have people who can address with utmost knowledge in a particular discipline. Today, radiology is one of the discipline in high demand. Similarly, oncology, and within oncology, you have so many divisions. So, education, I agree with you that we need to fix these weak links. Number two, I am advocating this very strongly in all platforms that we need to bring in herbal medicine and nutraceuticals into our education. Okay, so because that gives lot of strength to our naturopathy physicians, and that also gives a lot of, see, I mean, you are studying nutrition, right? You are studying
Yes.
dietetics. So, but you study nutrition and dietetics, you limit it to only prescribing juices, talking about the protein, carbohydrate, and the fat content in every diet. I mean, every meal and other things what is given. So honestly speaking, we are not converting it into kind of something which the whole industry is looking for. So nutraceuticals and all these things are part of it, which has to be brought in. Diagnostics, as I said, is a very big area which has to be revamped completely in our naturopathy education, because you study this, you don't know where and how you use it. Okay, you go
Yes.
out, you have completed your final year internship, and okay, I mean, if at all, means in some hospitals you might see an iridoscope. Okay, but honestly speaking, you cannot depend on either an iridology or anything else, because apart from converting our education into clinical practice has never happened. Okay, so this is certainly another area. And number three, we need more practical oriented disciplines to be
Yes.
brought into our naturopathy education. We spend a lot of time reading, okay, but we spend very less time in understanding their applications. You might go to your clinical post clinicals in the mornings every day or etc, but honestly speaking, how much do you learn there? Okay, I'm not criticizing any college, any our education system at present, etc. I'm talking about how do we improvise it. Okay, so similarly, there are various areas. In If you look at Western system, every year in every subject they spend little more than 60% of their time in practicals. Okay, understanding the subject through practicals rather than understanding the subject reading a book or through theoretical methods. So we actually need to work in this area to convert every subject into little more practically oriented. So I agree there are various points like this to bring in reforms into our education, which can make naturopathy system much more practically oriented and application oriented subject.
Also about our PG courses, like I feel we have some like only a limited PG courses. We are like seeking more variety of PG courses in naturopathy field, and about that also.
Yeah. I mean, certainly. See, that's why I said that's the main differentiator between allopathy and naturopathy or even Ayurveda. Like in allopathy, every discipline has been converted into a post graduation program. Okay, that's why they have so many people specialized in one particular area. In naturopathy, we still consider this as a budding system, but we don't need to wait for too long. We can expand and we can bring in newer disciplines. I am very much keen in some of the areas which I mentioned, like we will be starting at SVyasa, because we just don't want to replicate those courses available in other colleges. Okay, so we
Yes.
want to really start some new courses like neuro rehabilitation, naturopathy based neuro rehabilitation MD program in that, sports medicine as another discipline for MD, and truly bringing the concepts of pain management. So we have acupuncture as a discipline, okay? So, but we can bring in various other systems into a discipline like this, okay? So there are various post-graduation divisions which we are looking at, but I'm sure it's all going to shape up in the coming years soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Waiting for it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Nice, very nice. Any other questions? Somebody else wants to
Good
ask a
evening,
question.
sir.
Good evening. Who is
Yash is here. Pre-internship final year student, you can say.
very good?
Sir, I have two. I'm from Baroda, Gujarat College. Sir, I have two questions. If you give time, I can
Yeah,
try to explain it in short.
yeah, please.
One question is as a practitioner, and one question is as a student. The first question is like, what practical problem we are facing right now? As the second last question was, uh, patients are demanding medicinal approach from us, like they are asking for symptomatic relief. मुझे high blood pressure है, so what can we do in high blood pressure? I have this problem, what specific pranayam I can do in this, what specific asana I can do in this. And due to this demand and due to many other misconceptions of some naturopaths even, some may be BNYs and some of them may be any therapist or any naturopath diploma certificate course or anyone. But due to that practice, this demand is also going increasing and increasing, and people do not understand the actual concept. Body heals itself and self healing, and so in practice, in practice of very well established centers we are watching, because we are observing all the centers, how they are working and how they are giving treatments. So the basic concepts of fasting and these are very missing. And nowadays the hydrotherapy and acupuncture and are completely working on the symptomatic relief or the patient's demand. So how can we contribute in this? That how can we start from ourselves contributing, improving this? If you give me time, I can give second question right now, or if you say I can add on.
Let me answer your first question. You are right. See, I mean, that's what we have been discussing. Even the first question asked was also something related to that. The It is an expectation from a patient versus what I am here to offer. Expectation is little different. That they when they come to a naturopath, they expect the same thing what they expect from an allopath. I'm not telling that we should use herbal medicine, we should use nutraceuticals as tablets to satisfy them. Okay. So, what I'm telling you is certainly we need to really stick on to our principles, but present it in a way which is understandable and which is explainable. What happens with naturopathy today is that we talk two subtle components, okay, or we try to explain too much of a mechanism where we don't have enough evidence for it. But in both the cases, patient is lost. Patient he feels that he or she feels that uh, probably this doctor is missing something. What I'm trying to tell. Second thing, as you rightly said, even doctors are looking at treating the symptoms rather than treating the cause. Though by philosophy in naturopathy we say that we have to treat the cause, unfortunately, in most of there are many hospitals where if somebody comes and tells I have a pain, they treat the pain. I have a headache, then they look at developing intervention for the headache. So this is part of it. As you know, when you have studied your naturopathy, healing crisis is misunderstood for a disease today.
Yes, even
Okay.
disease is also misunderstood.
Yeah, everything is
Every is taken as negative.
negative. See, for example, COVID is a best example actually.
Yes.
So we have asymptomatic COVID and we have symptomatic COVID. So symptomatic, when somebody starts showing some symptoms, it's an indication that the viral load is increasing beyond a limit, whereby body is actually fighting
Yes.
with certain indications that I am fighting inside. Otherwise, you don't see any indications outside. A symptom is an indication that body is fighting. Okay, that doesn't mean that you need to simply intervene and you have to do anything over there. Suppression is the problem.
Yes.
Okay, if we respect our naturopathy system, we have to facilitate healing by elimination,
Emotion.
whatever it may be it a virus, be it a toxin, be it something which body couldn't digest, anything that has to be eliminated. Okay, elimination is the primary route through which you can fix a problem. Okay, even imagine there is an injury. What do you do? Lots of things have to be oozed out. Okay, so the inflammation caused in that local area removes up all those dead cells, and then the scar formation or the healing starts. So this elimination is the fundamental process which naturopaths should facilitate. So how do you do it in a way convincible to a patient is all the challenge what we have. If you say that no, we don't give any medicines and we don't do anything, we give you fasting, and half of the problems can be handled and treated by fasting. So we need a mechanism whereby we can convert an allopathy patient into a naturopathy patient by bridging this gap. So how do you bridge this gap is all about what we are talking today. You use technology, you use a way to convince patient by showing them through your own diagnosis. You use something whereby you say that if I suppress this, tomorrow you will have an issue. Somebody insists, you should be in a position to demonstrate that. Then the patient comes, doctor, you said it right. Immediately the headache reduced, but whole night I had the headache. Many patients come back and tell this. So this is the way you have to identify various mechanisms of delivering your intervention whereby patients are convinced. And second thing is, you should always uh, be connected with the language of the day. Okay, the language of the day is science. Be scientific. Don't simply explain anything unscientifically, because even a layman or a patient is better educated when it comes to any diseases. So you have to be a bit scientific in exploring and explaining that. But unfortunately, we have to change the system, like treating symptomatically versus treating the cause. But
Yes.
at times, if naturopathy has to really work strongly, identify those conditions where quick relief or symptomatic relief is not going to cause any damage. Okay, so I have an experience. Let me say I work using a computer and I have a heaviness in my head. My eyes are a bit burning or painful, and I have slowly headache started troubling me. See, now there is no serious treatment needed. What you simply need is, you, number one, withdraw from this sensory stimulus affecting you. Number two, go and have a cold splash on your face and wash your eyes. And number three, many times a simple, roll on, okay, for the pain management, you just apply a small bit of roll on. Or there are sensitive areas like on the eyelid or on the inner side of your ear. You don't believe, in around 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, your headache is gone. So this is strain related. So you need to differentiate where you can give quick relief. Then people definitely look at you for relief. Where you should not try for that suppression and quick relief, you should be in a position to do it. If you can tell your second question.
Yes, sir. I got my answer. We need to be clear about what and where we shall work. How? Okay.
Exactly.
Yes. So, thank you, sir. My second question is, as a student, because I am a student of Gujarat College, and you might be knowing this college is developing, and there is no registration or regulation body in Gujarat, and there are many other problems. What I'm basically developing my group in students from all the colleges. So I am getting know that in Chhattisgarh College or in Rajasthan College or in another college, there is also this kind of problems that teachers are not available, subjects are being taught by not their specialist, and there is no any equality in recruitment rules of universities. Even the syllabus is changed. In like in Telangana, the syllabus will be of 3 terms, 1.5, 1.5 and 1.5 year. In our college, the final year is of 1.5 year. In Alvas and SDM, the first year is of 1.5. In some subjects we will have, like we have Ayurvedic subjects, all the Ayurvedic subjects we have, and some have no Ayurvedic subjects. So how the equality will come? Like when we talk about the nutrition, the Moraji Desai students will, Gujarat College student will say that this Ayurvedic principle will work better in this nutrition concept, and they will have a better knowledge of herbology and this all on the basis of Ayurveda. And when we talk some on the other concept, it will be like nutrition based pay, STM and Alvas students will have a better concept and better knowledge. And so this kind of inequality and this kind of misconceptions comes, and we when think it is a very briefly कि ये क्यों हो रहा है, why it is so, then we think yes, there is a missing central council act and central council body. And if there would be a central council, as there is of homeopathy, as there is of Yunan, as there is CCIM
Yeah,
and
yeah, I understood your
so
question. See, I mean, the whole effort for the last 1 year has been to create that. Okay, for what we have suffered through last around 30 years, we want to fix it. and who has to fix it, and we only have to fix it. And we have been doing our best as some of the people who have for some reason got graduated before you all. So we don't call ourselves as seniors, but we say that we have automatically taken some responsibilities because we are before you. That's all is the difference. But it probably it takes some more time, because it's not as simple as we think to get that central
Yes, sir.
recognition and central council as an apex body to regulate education and practice. All this needs some decent amount of time, and you don't believe last around before COVID started till December 2019, around 4 months or so have been a marathon for some of us at least. I personally was in Delhi for more than 1.5 months during the parliament session to ensure that we get our national commission, because for Indian medicine, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and Sauringpa, they have created national commission for Indian medicine.
Yes.
So similarly, for yoga and naturopathy, there is a new proposal that we have a separate commission called National Commission for Yoga Naturopathy.
Okay, sir.
So this has to come into existence. We are all working on it, and I'm sure, irrespective of which year you are, everybody can contribute to such developments.
Yes.
But these differences and inequalities and are there certainly between the colleges, between states, etc. But I am confident to say that we can rectify them in the near future, not too long, maybe within a year's time.
Yes, sir. Because why we were facing some legal issues, because in our university's recruitment rules, a BAMS or a BHMS person can also teach us naturopathic management of diseases. And when our principal was changed, like first Dr. Ripu Daman Singh were there, and then a BAMS doctor came in the post of principal, and BAMS more teachers came to teach us naturopathy. So there were naturopaths available, and there are many naturopaths available in Vadodara as well. But yet we were not being taught by, and we are right now, we are, our juniors are not being taught by all the subjects by naturopaths. So these are the practical legal issues which we are facing, because
No,
university have. Yes.
all this, we will get an answer the minute we have a national commission. Because, for example, CCIM regulates Ayurveda.
Ayurveda,
So
exactly.
they have everything so well written to say that only somebody with a BAMS and MD can teach in an Ayurveda college. Nobody else is allowed to teach. Okay, so similarly, the minute we have a national commission and we have the regulations that who can teach in a naturopathy college, such problems will be taken care. So probably we have to put up for some more time, but I am confident such things will be resolved soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So it's 6:30. So if there are any one or two questions, we can take.
Yes, sir. So we'll take one or two questions. Maybe one is there from like raised hand. We will take first, if possible.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go on.
Good evening, sir. I am Ritu Shevani, a fourth year BNY student from Morarji Desai Institute of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences, Vadodara, Gujarat. I wanted to ask you that as students, we are facing a big problem that we are studying, we are learning things, but we are not going in a way as an integrated medicine approach and evidence-based approach. So that should be inculcated among us. And how can we, apart from our colleges, learn this way so that we can practice in a better way when we graduate as naturopaths?
Very true. See, I mean, I always say the future is in integrative medicine. One way is integrating with other systems of medicine. Second thing is integrating our own different naturopathic modalities. How effectively can we integrate them? Because we have a tendency of treating different diseases by stereotype based medicine. Okay, in the sense, first day you give this, second day you give this, and seventh, eighth, 9 days you give these kind of treatments. And before they give, if you have a facility, give them one underwater massage, or put them in a jacuzzi kind of it. See, unfortunately, the whole methodology, when to use what, has never been based on an evidence, based on scientific research. So you said it right. Evidence-based approach alone can give us that identity, what we are asking for. Second thing, certainly, when you are using naturopathy in handling various conditions, as a patient, they might have an expectation, but as a doctor, what exactly are you delivering is the big question what is being asked by many people. And particularly when you want to really teach it to different categories of students, how do you bring it to education? So your question can be answered only by bringing these methodologies into education. So you should study it in a manner which you want to really use it later. So if you are not studying in that manner, then for you to do your own exercise, or your own trial and error method to integrate them or to use them later becomes difficult. So once again, I say that it is possible to bring it in as a wonderful integrative system by bringing these methodologies into our education system. Otherwise, each college will teach it in a different way. And it also depends on the previous person was mentioning about who teaches them. If it is naturopathy doctor, then he teaches in a different way compared to another person. So finally, if the output has to be the same from all the colleges, so then it has to become a strict regulation for education. So once that happens, then all of you can expect at least 80% same, and 20% can be plus or minus in any college. So, but there is a possibility we can do it, but education is the only way to do it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It was a great explanation and it would help, I hope.
Thank you, Ritu.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Garima from Subharti University, final year student. Sir,
Yeah,
I would
Garima,
like,
go on.
yeah, sir, I would like to ask, like as you said, we have so many diagnostic approach, but we are not integrating that with technology. So, sir, is that because we don't have much available research data on that? For example, if we talk about iris diagnosis, we don't have enough research data so that we can integrate that with technology.
Yeah, there are two reasons. One is, of course, we don't have data. Number two, basically, nobody has worked on how do we use it. So some iridoscopes are available from China, whereas some are available from Europe. But they have made their own softwares. Actually speaking, if we really want to create a wonderful usable iridoscope, as per our understanding, somebody need to really work on the technology part here and design a new software. We don't need to, as a naturopathy doctor, you don't need to do it, but we need to collaborate with some technology based firm or an institution or individuals to give our ideas to them and make them provide us with such technology to us whereby we can integrate and understand it. See, whenever you use iris diagnosis, the biggest question which is being asked is, in diagnostics, it has to be 100% reproducible. Okay, so I take the image now. Within next another 10 seconds, I take another image. Unless it is a dynamic change, structural changes should be picked with consistency. Okay, reproducible. So unfortunately, many of the tools lack this, what we call it as reliability. Okay, so reproducibility is what we are looking at. Number two, let us say valid. Let us look at validity. How valid a tool is which I am trying to use for diagnosis. I am trying to look at identify, let us say, a particular area in the iris which suggests that there is a problem in the lung. So can I identify this consistently in at least around 100 people or 1,000 people? So that is the data which is lacking, as you also said. So we need that data to make it something which people can use in their clinical practice. So in both the ways, we have some limitations at this point of time. Second thing, every naturopathy hospital and every naturopathy doctor, if they start using these instruments, we can standardize them, because we are trying to create a kind of a directory whereby anybody uses iris images or takes iris images, they can plug in with our server to lodge them in the server here. And this will be used purely for research purpose, whereby imagine if we have around 10 lakh images, what we can infer out of it is amazing, okay, which we are not doing at this point of time, which we are starting to do now. So I think that is going to answer subsequently these questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Garima. I think
Yes, sir. We will wind up the session because it's
thank
already
you.
1.5 hours. And I know that it's very important you to give time like 1.5 hours, which was not asked before.
No issues at all. I thoroughly enjoyed spending time with all of you, and it was just an impromptu. I had never just thought of talking anything specific, but just before 5 minutes before, I just put those 4 5 slides whereby I can show something to for you to have a better to memorize better. So I know there are two memories. There is visual memory and spatial
Yes.
memory. So visual memory is always something you remember for long. So otherwise, I wanted to spend time in discussing. So I'll be available even in future, anytime for all of you. If you need some input, some information from me, or you can always write to me. I'll be happy to answer. I thank your group. You have created an amazing group, bringing all colleges and people from different states together. And this will open it up for having such interactions and exchanging knowledge between all of you. So very good initiative. I congratulate all of you, those who have been part of creating this group. And I congratulate all the students who have taken up the path of naturopathy. So I said, remember those 3 P's. You have an amazing philosophy, and if you can prioritize well, and the possibilities are so many, naturopathy will be the future. So I wish all of you a wonderful future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And we would have these 3 P's in our life as a student also and as a practitioner also in our life. So we should have these 3 P's not even during our student life, but every time so we can learn as a PNYS community and we can grow as a PNYS society. And I hope, sir, we can connect anytime further whenever you are free and available to us. As whenever we ask, I know from my first year you are available to all of us. So thank you so much, sir, for coming on this platform on OYG on your group. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All of you take care, stay safe and stay healthy, and take care of all other people, those who are surrounding you, with all those naturopathy small bits which can help you to improve immunity and respiratory health. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you everyone. We'll end the session. Namaste, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.